Hope you can see me all right.
Yeah, see you.
Hello, Thomas. Hope you managed to get a bit of time off over the international break.
Yeah, a little bit. It's the time for the managers to have, and the guys who are here to have a little bit time off. And today was the first day where everybody was back, so we feel excited that it continues. And the league continues.
Good day to ask you what you found out regarding any injury updates with your returning players.
Yeah, unfortunately we have two players are out, N'Golo Kante and Christian Pulisic. They came back both injured. Well, N'Golo got injured in the Liverpool game and still suffers a little bit. We're trying maybe to answer already the next question from you. We try with N'Golo for Tuesday. This looks pretty good. And for Christian, unfortunately, he came yesterday on crutches, and yeah, we have an ankle injury with about 10 days.
And Romelu was suggesting that he might have suffered some kind of thigh problem with Belgium.
No, not at all. Like, I don't know, maybe he had some problems, but he came back yesterday, he trained yesterday, he came back 2 days ago. Yesterday he trained with us, today he trained full, no problems at all.
Has football gone mad with this situation with Thiago?
Not only with Thiago, but with the situation, yeah. Maybe not football, but the world itself is not. It's not the same with traveling and travel restrictions. If you try to go in a national break, myself home to my country, or I bring people like my family over, it's not the same anymore. It gets more and more complicated. Yeah, of course the clubs want their players to play, the national teams as well. And and the players want to also to play. Don't forget it. And still, if it ends up in a situation where players cannot play for the national team and then should be maybe suspended in their league, that does not help nobody. That makes no sense. Not for the fans and not for the football and not for the national team and not for the clubs. So yeah, I don't know. Me personally, I think maybe it could be a solution that we move the games from the red listed countries to green listed countries, like we did with the UEFA Champions League. I mean, we played in Romania, we played in Sevilla, so this was a solution where games could be played. So maybe we can find a solution like this. Right now, Thiago is not out; he's not officially out. The chairman is still in negotiations. I'm waiting for the final decision. For me, it's enough if I get the final decision tomorrow. We will take the latest decisions tomorrow morning, and we have still hope that he can play.
On a happier note, and finally from me, you've managed to get Saul in. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me how difficult a deal that was to do and what your role in it was? And also, do you hope he impresses enough that you're a force to make it permanent at the end of the season?
Well, this is the second step. Then we have the chance, which is good, and now it's on us and on the player, and we can get to know each other very, very in details and see if this is a good fit. As you know, we agreed for Billy Gilmore to go to Norwich to have more minutes on the highest levels. He was our fourth midfielder last season. Now with the COVID situation, since a long time, and the Euros and the Copa America, I personally was a bit concerned to go into the season with only Jorginho, Matteo and N'Golo. Not because of lack of quality or character. I'm the happiest coach that I can be to have these three guys, but in terms of it is a bit unpredictable. We have a Club World Cup to play in December. There are many games to come, and nobody knows exactly. And once, I mean, most of the time, normally two of the three guys always play. Once you have one injured, once you have one suspended, you already are in danger to overload players. So when we were looking, not desperately, but we were looking for alternatives, and Saul is on the radar from Chelsea many years. I know the player since many years. I was fighting in some other clubs for the players. It was never possible. So when the situation was in the very end that it is possible to have a loan, we were excited about it. I think he's exactly the type of profile that we can need to also give Jorginho and N'Golo sometimes the break they need. He is a good fit with Matteo, with Jorginho and N'Golo. He has the ability to very strategic player. He has a good passing ability. He has a lot of volume. I think is a good fit when he comes from a tough club. And that's why I'm absolutely happy. We have not the biggest squad in terms of numbers. We can just feel it now when we miss like 2 players. We already end up in thinking about who is in the squad tomorrow, who makes it in the 18th. But we have a strong squad in terms of quality and character, and I'm very happy that Saul is now a big part of it.
Moose, talk sport.
Thanks, Adrian. I've just got 3 questions, Thomas, if that's okay. The first one about Thiago. If he hadn't gone like he hadn't, then there's a chance that FIFA could rule him out of the game. And you say your chairman is still talking about it. But if he had gone, you'd have to quarantine until he missed the game. So you were in a no-win situation, really, regardless, which I don't understand how the governing body of world football could put a football club like Chelsea in that position over a key player.
Yeah. I don't understand it, and it makes no sense from which sides you look at it, because now, did it make sense for the Brazilian national team? No, they didn't have the player. Does it make sense for us? No, because now we are in the danger that he maybe cannot play the next 2 matches because of a ban. If we would have sent him, he would be out for 10 days in a hotel room, not able to train, which I can understand, and because it's in the moment these are the travel restrictions, so there is nothing to deal about it and to go around it, and nobody wants that. So these solutions where we end up right now in these discussions is, I don't know if any fan or anybody who's involved in this game can really understand the positive effect of it. There is simply none. So, like I said, the chairman is still in negotiations, and I'm still hoping and positive, and he is not out yet officially.
So off the back of that, where do you stand on having a World Cup every 2 years, where you've got to release your players even more to go and play international football?
I just read some headlines. I don't even know about the idea behind, and before I comment on it, I would love to give everybody the chance to explain how and why. I think in the moment it's very hard for every club to accept after Euros, after Copa America, so quickly these international breaks with 3 matches for the players. It's very hard to accept, because in the end people want to see the top players on the pitch. If we increase only the games and the games and the games, that will not happen in the end, that we see always top performances. So that is not for the benefit of the game. I'm worried more about the actual situation than about maybe a revolution in terms of a World Cup every 2 years. If the idea is well thought through, and they can, and let's maybe they did already present and I didn't hear it, but I have not yet made my mind up about this.
Finally, before he got into Chelsea first team, Mason Mount went on loan, had a year in Holland with Vitesse Arnhem, and quite a lot of young English players. Jude Bellingham is currently on loan in Germany. Yeah. We've seen other players like Jadon Sancho obviously go to Borussia Dortmund. And I'm just wondering what it is, especially about the Bundesliga, which is a good grounding, a good teaching ground for young English players to go and learn how to play football and then come back and be superstars, maybe even within the English national team.
But Vitesse is not Bundesliga.
No, the other two.
Yeah, but
forget
a lot of young players go to Bundesliga, and why is a good question. I mean, they see their chances. The league is very well structured, is very organized. They are brave enough to let the young players play. Maybe the competition in around the around the club is not on throughout the whole league is not on that highest level like it is in Premier League. So this is what you're more or less looking for when you give a player on loan. A well-structured club, a good structured league, reliable in communication, reliable in what they demand from performance. It's a high-intensity football, so once you give your English players there, you can be sure that they play a physical game and not only a technical game. But in the end, everybody needs to find his own path, and everybody needs to find his own, adapt to his own solutions and to his own situation. You cannot say go there, go to Vitesse, go to Borussia, and then you will end up back in Premier League. Sometimes it can be the good choice to stay and fight your way through. Sometimes it can be a good choice, like you mentioned. I think if you have the mentality, if you have the quality, if you are relentless enough, if you really mean it, and with a little bit, with the amount of luck that everybody needs, you will make your way, no matter how. And yeah.
Thank you, Moose. John Southall, 5 Live.
Hi, Thomas. What's the state of the squad? You mentioned there you've only had them all back really today.
Yeah.
How difficult is that to prepare for a game when you've only had the group together for one day?
Yeah, we don't do it for the first time, but it still feels a bit awkward. It's demanding because normally you build up a feeling also for your group and for your players, what they need, what they don't need, and you navigate through a week like this. Once you have your group of 6-7 players here for 2 weeks, and you only play in a very little group, you fill it up a little bit with academy guys who, if they are here. So now yesterday and today the building was more and more full, and today was the first day. It's not the first, we did it, everybody did it. It's not the nicest situation because you lack the feeling and you lack the rhythm. Everybody comes from a very demanding trip, very demanding games, different style of playing, different experiences. So yeah, but in the end, once we enter the meeting room today and watch video sequences from us and from Aston Villa, I demand full focus and full motivation. This is what we're up to. We play on the highest level. We play for Chelsea. And when you arrive on a Friday morning, no matter if you're tired, accept it. No matter how distracted, how tough your trip was, accept it. Be focused and be fully motivated. This is how I felt the team today on the training pitch. We pushed them, not to give any wrong impression that we still are like, that we are still too soft and still talking about too much about how difficult this is. This is now the obstacle to overcome. This is the challenge for tomorrow. We want to be on our highest level, and we will not accept any excuses from us.
And then you've got the group together, for another 3 or 4 weeks, and then they go off again on another international break. How difficult is that? And you touched on it a moment ago. Does something need to be done about the?
I think it's too many games. It's too many games. It does not help the quality of the games. I will always push and be a big support. I love watching football. Can watch football. I love also the quality of the games, and I love the players fresh and sharp. I love to watch games when they are sharp and fresh and not just played, because it has to be played. And in the moment, for me, it is development over the last years. Then they come a Nations League, was like in between. They played a Nations League and made it even like even another competition out of it. So, but in my personal opinion, that does not help the quality, and that is not what people love about the game, the pure amount of games. So I don't know how, but it should be a compromise. It should be found a compromise to have I don't know, less games and higher quality to protect the players, nothing else.
And just finally for me, Cristiano Ronaldo, I think will probably make his debut at some stage tomorrow for Manchester United. What kind of impact do you think he's going to have for them, and do you think he can now push them to be serious title contenders?
They were before. Actually, for me, they were before, because they had a fantastic transfer window, and they were a super hard team to play against and to beat in the last season. They were close to win the European trophy. They were so close in the league, the second place. So they were already, because they became stronger even before the arrival of Cristiano Ronaldo. Now Cristiano arrives, he will get a lot of attention. There will be a lot of focus. Obviously, you ask me about it, which is fair enough. I think he will have a huge impact. Why? Because he's a champion. He's a true champion, and he has proved on any level and any year that he can perform on outstanding levels. And don't forget, he will not just we will now check the minutes and the assists and the goals that he delivers, but he will have an impact every day onto the group. This is what we also look for, and what we have when we buy players, bring in players. They bring a new spirit. If you have guys like Trevor Chalobah, like Saul, like Romelu Lukaku, they are new in the group, they are fresh, they are hungry, and when players like this arrive in a club, it lifts everybody up, because he's a huge example. He leads by example, Cristiano, and makes things more complicated for us, but very, very exciting, and we will not change our ambitions because of that.
Last question in the broadcast section, Olivia PLP.
Hi Thomas.
Hi.
I just want to ask you a question about Timo Werner. He hasn't started either of the 2 games since Lukaku came in, had a good international break with Germany. Do you think we're going to see him alongside Romelu Lukaku soon, and do you think that sort of striker will complement Timo Werner's game?
Yeah, absolutely yes to all your questions. I am sure that we will find games and solutions where we play with both of them. I think we did already and play with double strikers, and Timo and Romelu can be a good fit together. Timo loves to play around a reference up front, and Romelu is clearly our reference up front if he plays alone as a double striker, a tall and physical player. So but the most important is that he finds his rhythm, finds his confidence, finds his joy, and makes his point and makes his way into the team. That the players are in charge to take their position, to fight for their position, and once they have it, to not give it away. And that's where we are. We are very happy that he scored. We're very happy that he played, and from here on we go. We have, like I said, a squad where we are not too many players, but we have players with high quality and high ambition, and Timo is clearly a guy that we count on, and that is absolutely necessary that we have him